What's up, guys? Alton here, and as promised, this is part 2 of the video. Hoping that you guys have seen part 1. We talked about the slave trade in Libya, the current situation that's going on right now in December of 2017. So we're going to go ahead and get into a couple of posts that Kevin Wesley did on his Facebook page. And we're going to go ahead and address that right now. So let's get into it. So the first post from Kevin Wesley is 4,200 religions, and don't none of these gods care about the slavery happening right now. Wow. Now, first of all, if you guys know anything about this guy, and like I said in all of my videos, he is one of these people that he likes to blame God for everything. Now, I can't speak for the other 4,199 religions. I can only speak for one, and that is the true religion, the religion of the God of the Bible. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to address it from a Christian standpoint. I'm not going to try to defend Islam or Buddhism or anything like that because I'm not a part of those religions. Now, Kevin Wesley wants to know, where are the gods, or in this case, where is God? Let's talk about that for a minute. Now, he just posted a live stream, and I want to say maybe this was about a week or two ago, and he made a live stream saying that we must destroy religion. Religion has to be destroyed. And I'm pretty sure his reasoning is because it causes things like this, slavery allegedly. It causes a divide, or a lot of problems come from religion. But that's an interesting statement, because when we look at the current slave trade that's going on in Libya, there's no Bibles that are there in that region. There are no Christians. There's also no white man. Now, what you do have over there is Arab Muslim men. Now, I'm not saying that that all Muslims agree with slavery. And I'm not going to get into the whole argument of, the history of Islam owning slaves from 600 AD until about the 1900s or the 1960s. I'm not going to get into that, although that can be used as an argument. But Kevin Wesley is always blaming the Bible, the God of the Bible, for slavery, saying that no one knew anything about slavery until the God of the Bible showed up. Now, in the book of Exodus, it says that if a man steals a man and sells him, the man who is found in possession of him and the man who sold that man shall be put to death. And I always bring this up to these guys, and they try to skirt and dance around it. But it's like the Bible is clear that anyone who steals a person and sells him, the person who bought the guy and the guy who sold him, are to be put to death. So we're talking about 2 lives for one living guy. 2 guys should be put to death. Well, let's get back to the question that he asked. He says, where is God during this time of slavery in Libya? And it's interesting that he asked that, just like I said earlier, based on his, I think it was like a 4-hour live stream video saying that we need to destroy religion. Like I said in my last video, this is a prime example of what happens when you remove God from society. When you take out God from society and you say we don't need him, we don't need some book, we don't need anyone telling us what our morality should be. We should be able to do whatever we want. And now we see when a person is removed from power, how the first thing that begins to happen in this country, in Libya, is people being enslaved. Because they don't have anyone to tell them that is not okay. So question, who is actually in the right and who is in the wrong if the United States go over there and decide that they want to put an end to slavery? Who's right and who's wrong? And that's one of the questions that you have to ask, because they are their own society and they make their own morals. That's what they're doing. They're saying the best thing for our society is to enslave these migrants, these African migrants. It is best for us to enslave them because they can't fight back. We are stronger than them, than they are. And it's natural selection, survival of the fittest. We have the guns, we have the ammunition, they have nothing. So it should be okay for us to enslave them. So that's why I'm just like, with these guys, especially these black atheists, they really kill me. Guys like Kevin Wesley and Ray Hagen and just all of these guys. I was watching a guy earlier. I can't remember his name, but I'll post a picture of him. Like, these guys are just God haters. But I want to ask a question. Where is Kemet? Like I said, this in another video. Where are the Africans? Because let's face it, they're in Africa. There are no other Africans coming to the aid of the Libyans. The only people that's thinking about going over there to help fight this battle are Western Europeans. These are white men. The black men in Africa are not thinking about going over there to put an end to this. And that's happening right there in their own backyard. But see, what has happened is that people like Kevin Wesley and these atheists and these agnostics and all these unbelievers, they have successfully, and they are being successful, of pushing God out of society. So this is what you guys wanted. You guys wanted to not have God in society. You say that we don't need morals, we don't need the Bible, we don't need any of that, and we can survive and we can coexist. But now we see that when a crisis is happening, this time you can't blame it on the white man, you can't blame it on the Bible. But I don't see you guys actually getting up to go help. Where's your armies? Where are your humanitarians? There's no humanitarians running over there. No secular humanitarians running over there to go help these people out. So let's break something down. When you have these atheists and you have these God haters and these agnostics and all of these people, these secularists who've been trying to do away with the Bible, you've actually been cutting off your help. The people who were bold enough to go over there to those countries to try to make sure that there was a change, or to make sure that something changed in these countries, you've basically limited the resources and the power of the Christian people. And I'm going to explain to you how. Now, whenever things usually happen like this, a crisis like this, the first responders are always the Christians. The Christians are the ones who usually go over to these rural areas and they help fight to help get these people just the basic necessities: food, water, and a place to stay. But what has happened over time is that when Christians used to get grants from the government, our United States government, people like the Freedom from Religion groups and a lot of these agnostic, atheist, God-hating people, what they did was that they would argue and they would complain and say that I don't want my taxpayer money going to fund some Christian organization. I don't want to be forced into paying for some Christians. So the government started to scale back and cut back on grants for Christian organizations. So you've already cut off funding that way. Now Christian organizations who have the 501c3, who take that tax-exempt money and they actually go into places like Libya and Africa, and they give these people basic necessities. Now you've started to complain that they get 501c3 tax-exempt status, and they should be able to pay taxes because some of these other Christian organizations have abused their 501c3 tax-exempt status. And I don't condone that. I don't condone the fact that someone takes money and abuses it, or they abuse the 501c3 tax-exempt status in the name of God. Now, I don't condone that. But I do think that you should deal with an individual on an individual basis. So if a group is mishandling the funds, you don't punish everyone for that. You punish that particular group. So what has happened is that a lot of these same atheists, freedom from religion, they're complaining about Christians getting a 501c3 tax exempt status. And now Christians are required in some instances to send over a copy of their sermons to the government before they get the 501c3 status. And if the government doesn't agree with what's in the sermon or the mission statement for those Christian organizations, then they don't receive it. They don't get it. So now you've taken two sources of income from the Christian people who risk their lives to go over to places like Libya to make sure that they can give these people a place to stay, setting up camps and all of that stuff for them so they don't have to be caught out in the open trying to flee to another country. They set up bases and they set up camps and they say, you guys don't have to go over there. You guys can come here. We'll feed you guys. We'll provide you with food, water, and shelter. And we'll contact the countries that are willing to accept you guys as migrants instead of you guys just bomb rushing the borders. But see, you've made it hard for the Christian. So in order for a lot of these organizations to continue to function, they need donations from regular people. People like me, who have a family, who works, and we're not able to give much. I'm not really able to give much. I do give to Open Doors and I give to the local church, but that's about all I can do. But us Christians, we pay into the system as well. So where is God? Where are the Christians when it comes to these crises? Where you left us, trying to figure out how we're gonna save up money to go over there and help these people out. But you guys don't want that because you're God haters. You hate the God of the Bible so much that you would hate to think that you are paying a few dollars from your check or a few cents from your check that will go and help Christian people or help fund Christian people to go into these areas to make sure that these people don't end up in slavery. And you've stopped that. So I congratulate you guys. Congratulations. This is what society looks like without God. You've been successful. You've successfully pushed God from our culture to where Christians don't have power. We don't have the power. We barely have the money and the resources to go and help others. Now you got people suffering, and I don't see any atheists running over there. I don't see any black conscious people. I don't see any black Gnostics. I don't see any Moors. I don't see anyone from Islam. I don't even see the Nation of Islam over there. And the Nation of Islam they had really close ties to Muammar Gaddafi. But I don't see the Nation of Islam going over there. So this is where God is. He's not going to be where you want him to be. Kevin Wesley also posted another post. He says, there are black people being enslaved right now. Where is the anointing that destroys yokes? Where are these gods? And like I said, he's only directing that at Christians. But I'm asking, where are you? Sitting behind a camera? Sitting behind Facebook and Twitter? Social media? That's all you're doing. And that's what kills me about a lot of these so-called black conscious guys, because they're not going to do anything. The black conscious community has done nothing for the black community. Nothing. You can check the history, check your facts, check your stats. There's not one person that they can name that they can say that actually came in and helped change the black community for the better. They don't have anyone that they can look to. None. See, back when slavery was going on here in America, the people that actually jumped out on the forefront were Christian people. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, well, it wasn't, The Civil War didn't free the black slaves. Well, how did we get free? Because technically, if we never became free, and I live in Georgia, okay, I live in Dallas, Georgia, and I'm out here in the country. So 100 years ago, this wouldn't be possible. Me living in this area. So how did black people become free to where we have the freedoms that we have today? So it's such a stupid argument. But it was the Christian abolitionists who put pressure on the government. So it wasn't just the interest that the government had, but it was also the pressure that was put on the government by the Christian abolitionists. And then we had devout Christians like Harriet Tubman with the underground slave trade. And I know a lot of these black conscious people, they try to adopt her into their ideology, but you can't. Any studies that you do about this woman will show you that she used to be a devout Christian. She had a Bible in one hand and a pistol in the other. So let's fast forward to the 1960s, the late 50s, 1960s. And we're talking about segregation in the South. Now, who was out there fighting a battle to desegregate the South? It was Christian people, black and white Christian people. There wasn't any Muslims, there wasn't any Moors, there wasn't any Pan-Africans, there wasn't any Africans. None of these people were there. But everybody tried to piggyback off of what the Christians had done in order to try to make it seem like that they were just so involved. Just like the Black Panther movement. The Black Panther movement started up after all of the contributions and stuff had been done by Christian people. Christian people had already fought to change a lot of the laws and stuff that were against black folks. And then that's when the Black Panthers kind of rose up and they wanted to, try to make it seem like that they were, doing something for the black community. Which there was a couple of things that Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale did. They had the meal programs and all of that stuff. But in the end, what did they do? They ended up going against each other, trying to kill each other. There was a lot of Panthers who killed each other. And the group just disbanded. And it disbanded because they had no foundation. They had no leadership. And then a lot of you will say, oh, well, just like I saw another post and Kevin was like, people talking about praying. We don't need to pray. Well, first of all, just because God has never answered any of your prayers doesn't mean that prayer doesn't work. I've seen prayer work. And a lot of you guys out there have seen prayer work. And prayer is what got blacks through all of those times in slavery. And blacks praying to God is what helped them get through segregation in the South. Yeah, there were some people who lived and died as slaves, and there were some people who lived and died in the segregated South. But God is sovereign, and He worked it out to where segregation came to an end and slavery came to an end for black people in America, because there wasn't anyone else. Who else helped free the slaves, the black slaves in America? I'll wait. What group of people came to the aid of blacks in the segregated South? I'll wait. Besides Christians. So I just wanted to go ahead and do this video and address a couple of these topics for all of you atheists, black Gnostics, conscious, whatever people, when it comes to the slavery that's going on in Libya. Because you guys aren't doing anything. You're full of hot air. You're full of talk. You're not going to do anything. And you're trying to restrict Christians from going over there. But it's by the grace of God that some of our brothers and sisters will get over there and they will be able to set up camps. And for all my Christian people, if you guys want to help out, I would advise you guys to go to opendoors.org. And I support this ministry because, these people, they're ground zero. So I would just say continue to keep a lookout on their websites and stuff. You can probably donate to the cause to help the people in Libya who are actually looking for a safe place to go as they cross from these famished countries. So I would say continue to check in with them, donate, help, whatever you can, $20, $30, even $50 or more if you can. just donate, help out, because if we're sitting back and we're waiting on black people, these black conscious people to do something, they're not. So this is my challenge and this is my question to a lot of you black conscious people. Now you guys answer me. You can make a video response or you can comment in the comments below. What are you going to do? What do you have to bring to the table? Because I've never seen a bunch of people from the black conscious community get together and go help someone else out. Never seen it. All I've seen was DVDs, t-shirts, meal plans, rants and raves against the God of the Bible, and videos and live streams hours long speaking against the God of the Bible and Christians. So that's my challenge. Let me know what you guys are going to do and what plans do you got to help the people out in Libya. Or are you just going to sit back like you always do and let the white man and the Europeans go in there and take care of it, and then you guys can sit back and try to blame Christians or say that the white man went in there for some other reason and he didn't do anything? That's all I got to say for this video, guys. My little rant. If you like what you've seen and heard, please like, rate, share, comment, and subscribe. And you guys have a blessed day.